Today is February 9th, 2018. It's MMA Junkie Radio's pre-show, the show before the show. I am Goes. That is Danny. Otto.
Hi. Hi.
You may know him from popping off. He pops off a lot. He's always shutting me up. I don't like being shut up. You shut up, Danny.
You shut up.
Yeah. You're a type. Today, our guest will be Ben Askren. And that's about it. Just Ben Askren. Closing out the week. A lot of interviews this week. So today,
Yeah, we did.
I would like today's show to be a little caller heavy, I think. And I want to hear some new callers. First, I'm not saying old callers don't call. I'm just saying I want to hear a new voice. Somebody who listens to the show all the time, but says, I can't call in. I can't. I need you to call into today's show. I don't know why I said that like that.
Can I say that I, adversely, would like to hear some of the people that I know from the Junkie Gathering in person that I never hear from on the phone anymore. I would like to hear from some of them.
Yeah.
This fine Friday. Like, Aaron, from both Texas and Minnesota. I haven't heard I haven't heard from either one of them in forever. I every once in a while I'll talk to them on Facebook. I don't really hear from them anymore.
Oh, my computer might be back.
Yeah, computer's back. Who else?
When Dan Tom is not here, I notice that things get scary. I have producer Rust.
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
You know what I did 2 days ago, Danny?
What?
I was on my laptop, which if you're watching the show, it's on my right side. And I was using the mouse pad, and I was trying to control something on the other laptop with this mouse pad. And I'm like, why won't this fucking move? And I'm like, if you watch the camera, I'm like freaking out. I think I even slammed my finger on my fist on the desk. I was mad, and then I realized, oh, all right. Stupid, right?
It's funny. It's only funny because it happens to me all the time.
Does it?
Because we have those wireless mice, I guess, for Apple.
Do you say
and
that?
We have what?
Do you say wireless mice?
I didn't know what to say. You're coming up in a minute. I didn't know what to say. I knew you were gonna give me shit either way. If I said we have wireless mouses, either way I was doomed. But anyway, yeah, they have them. We have, like, hi, morning.
Hi.
We are coming up in 30 seconds.
Ben Askren, our guest today.
Mm-hmm.
What if I told you we added somebody?
I mean,
it would suck because they just put everything up.
Well, we didn't.
Oh. What if I told you? I think my computer just broke.
What if I told you guys we're coming up? Stand by.
Oh, wait, it might be loading.
Stand by.
This is your captain speaking. We are making our descent into Las Vegas McCarran Airport. On behalf of our crew, we'd like to thank you for flying MMA Junkie Airlines. Now please fasten your seatbelts and put your tray tables in your upright position because the descent is going to be a little bit bumpy.
Alright, Junkie Nation, it's time to roll, baby, on MMA Junkie Radio with Gorgeous George and Go. This is what we doing while we do it, baby. All night long, we rollin'! Yeah!
The MMA Junkie Radio revolution is upon us.
Can you dig it?
There's no escape. No escape. Through the vast frontier of cyberspace and through a sea of stars in outer space.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
We've solidified our combat communications stranglehold.
We are controlling transmission.
With the use of MMA Junkie Radio and SiriusXM satellite radio technology. MMA Junkie Radio. Commence transmission. Live from MMA Junkie Radio HQ in the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. Here are your hosts, Gorgeous George and Goes.
From the fight capital of the world, inside the beautiful Mandalay Bay Racing Sportsbook, you are listening to the MMA Junkie Radio Show, the only show that matters. I'm your host, Gorgeous George. With me, as always, is the devious and dastardly Goes, our co-host, and back east, handling the producing duties today, Danny Otto, Dan Tom, off till Monday. What's up, guys?
What up? Dan Tom's off till Monday, but he's still working because
Putting out his previews?
No, he helped me put out a fire because my laptop's acting stupid, and he came in and saved the day.
Dan Tom?
Dan Tom, yeah.
Where's he at?
Well, he's at home.
Oh, okay.
Come in.
He just has the
virtually
same
speaking, he came in.
links, right? So from his thing, he could just do it.
Gotcha. What do you need that for? What's
It's,
that one do?
So what happens is when this goes live, then you take the URL of this and put it out so that the story on MMA Junkie will reflect it. So when you click it, the video will pop up, and then from there you tweet that with the whole package together.
But the show can run if this is failing?
Oh yeah. This is just like right now I have no questions or nothing.
Oh,
Just can't
okay.
all my info's gone.
All right. Well, it's the last show of the week,
Done. There's nothing I can
and so carrying over from yesterday, there is an invite for Liam McGeary to join us. I haven't heard back. He wasn't able to join us yesterday. Actually, he did call in at the end of the show, but yesterday was one of the days we couldn't do overtime. So I extended the invite, and of course, the fight's still not for a week, so we'd love to talk to him. And if it doesn't happen today, which I doubt, then more than likely next week. As far as Joby Sanchez, I did hear from his team, and they apologized, and we may regroup. I don't know. I have some tentative stuff for next week, so we'll see what happens. But today's show, we have Ben Askren. Now, he's 18-0 overall as an MMA fighter. He recently retired. But, God, he's been doing these interviews and talking up a little bit the fact that it just seems like he just needs the right offer. Just say when. And he'll have his hand on the holster, and he'll pull the gun out and shoot, But what it would take is a huge opportunity or something that gets his tail wagging. For example, maybe back to Bellator to face Rory McDonald. I think he respects McDonald enough where he would feel like, hey, I'm competing against one of the best, because McDonald has that key win over the UFC champ, Tyron Woodley, who's Ben Askren's really good friend. I'm talking really good friend. These guys would not fight each other. They were teammates at the University of Missouri where they wrestled together. And Tyron's actually gone on record to say he would actually move to 185 if Ben wanted to go back. Or if Ben came to the UFC, he would actually move to 185. So that's how much they, respect each other and our fans. That's how deep their friendship is. The other fight, of course, is just no title on the line. I guess face GSP, which I think a lot of people would be down with. I know I'd be down with it.
I think a lot of hardcores would be down with it.
And I'd be down with the McDonald match.
But he's so good at talking that he could make it very interesting very soon.
And he had one of those styles that it's not crowd pleasing to some, actually to most MMA fans. But he's well respected because of the record and the fact that he's beaten some tough fighters along the way. You have to respect that. Dominated them, and so he's only 33 years old. And, if you are a wrestling fan, you must think the world of this guy, because he was an All-American, I believe, all 4 years, a two-time champion. Then he represented the United States in 2008 at the Olympics in Beijing. And he has wrestling academies and podcasts dedicated to wrestling. So he is just wrestling through and through. But, and actually a pretty funny guy, pretty entertaining guy. He talks some smack, but he backs it up. So we'll see where his head's at and see, of all these scenarios, which one's the one that might get him out. Because, again, it just doesn't seem like it's a retirement that he will stick to. Well, no, I take it back. He could very easily stick to it. He does seem content, and he does seem like he has opportunities to run his wrestling schools and just not worry about, anything else going forward. But he's a competitor. And so for the right opportunity, I think he would easily just come out of that retirement and do what needs to be done. So, anyway, he'll join us at 1 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. Wait, 2 Eastern. Yeah, 2 Eastern. I scared myself there. Otherwise, he'd be on right now. 2 Eastern, 1 Central, 12 Mountain, 11 a.m. Pacific. In the meantime, we can take your calls at 866-522-2846. Also, fighters will be weighing in later on in the day. And if you're seeing that and wondering, hey, are the afternoon weigh-ins back? No, because they'll be fighting on Sunday early in the morning to accommodate the pay-per-view audience here in North America, which is 10 Eastern and 7 p.m. Pacific, here in North America. So therefore, when they're weighing in the afternoon, evening for us and here in North America, it's really the next day over there. And so really, I guess it's more of a 24-hour weigh-in for them.
Can I bring something up that you used to do that we talked about earlier in the pre-show, but it's really gross to mind? It's not like it's an eating habit.
Okay, what do I do?
Do you remember when you used to dip bread into Pepsi?
Yeah.
Do you still stand by that?
I did that about 2 years ago, just to bring it, not to bring it back, just I think there was like what happened? Hell, I think it just may have been a conversation like this or something. I actually opened the fridge, and we rarely have soda in the fridge. Yeah, but there happened to be a Coke there, and I was just in the mood for a Coke. And I remember drinking about half and then pouring the other half in a glass. And then I looked to see if there was bread, and there was. And I folded it in half, dipped.
Look, you did it where you're like, okay, I get why I did this? Or was it
well, no, I was completely dumb. I mean, why would someone do that? I think it was just, I don't know what it was. I guess as a kid, I just thought, hey, I wonder what this would do, And then I actually liked it. And then, when people tell you gross, you just tend to do it just to piss them off. I was probably doing that as well. Did you ever do it?
I did it too. I didn't do it regularly, but I did it because I just wanted to do stuff my brother did.
But it wasn't like it made you vomit, right?
No, it wasn't gross. It's just.
Why would you do that?
The reason it came up, Matt was saying that he knew somebody who his parents would make him ketchup sandwiches. So 2 pieces of bread, just ketchup in the middle, and then that was his lunch, and he would eat that.
I know that Pepsi thing is not on the par with that.
Yeah.
It is on par?
I think Pepsi's worse because at least like you could have ketchup in a sandwich, right? I guess if the right things are in there, maybe. But Pepsi and bread just never they never, when they're out on the yard, like they're never like, hey,
they don't
again.
Go to. I mean, wait, I guess I do put ketchup on an egg sandwich.
I just think they're closer to being friends.
Actually, I don't always do that.
And then Danny.
No, they are related. Pepsi and bread are not related. The others are related, but it would be like me and Juliet's sister going to the movies. Like that wouldn't work unless it was me, Juliet, and her sister. Or if I'm in LA and her sister and her husband invite me to just, hey, you're in town, let's go get a movie. So there would be just like, well, what are you two doing? And I mean that doesn't make too much sense. The other one is, yeah, they shouldn't be together, but I don't know.
Well,
we're wasting time. Let's wrap this part up before people kill us. I mean, I'm good with whatever. If you want to say it's good, it's good. If not, it's not. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna argue this one.
That led me to something else, and that was something that Danny does that annoys me that a lot of people do. Is he takes his chips and he puts them in his sandwich, and I just think that's stupid because why not just take a bite of your sandwich like a normal human being, grab a chip, put it in your mouth. This seems like too many extra steps.
Like the girl in Breakfast Club, the movie.
Yeah, she's like
except she puts sugar as well, right? Or okay.
And she smashes.
All right, so I did that once. I think Fritos. A lot of kids used to do that when I was in school. It wasn't the end of the world. I remember just going, "That's dumb," but then I did it, and I thought, okay, I won't do it again. But it wasn't the worst thing. But yeah, Danny's now an adult. I don't think I would do it now.
Or people who get the tortilla, a piece of tortilla.
To be fair,
go ahead.
To be fair, this was when I told him in the story. This is when I was in elementary school. I don't eat that kind of stuff anymore.
Oh, Danny. Ghost said Danny takes his chips.
I know.
So it made it sound like you did it last night.
Well, yeah. But if you did eat those things, you still don't have a problem with doing it.
I don't. I stand by it. I think it was delicious.
You know what we need to do at the next Junkie gathering? We need to have a glass or cups of Pepsi or Coke. This is a Pepsi house, so it'll be Pepsi with bread. Couple sandwiches. We'll pick like 3 or 4 Junkies. Breads with just ketchup, we said? And then what's the other one? And then we'll make a sandwich and then put like Fritos or Doritos into that sandwich and just rank them. That'll decide it right there.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
I guarantee you it'll be the sandwich, the Pepsi, the sandwich with chips, the Pepsi, and then the sandwich with ketchup. That's disgusting, man.
Gross.
Who did that, Matt?
No, Matt went to school with somebody who would do that. So the guy would just pull out ketchup sandwiches and eat them.
Wow. That's horrific. Did you see Embedded 3?
I did.
There's a kid talking shit to Luke Rocco. Oh, he's backing up the Australian.
Yeah.
I thought no, Romero's Cuban. So what's going on there?
I thought it was. I think you were thinking of Lombard, huh? I thought it was funny. I like when Mark Hunt's wife calls him in the middle of an interview.
I haven't seen it yet. I've seen the first 2. I didn't catch that one. All right. And by the way, as far as those weigh-ins, they'll start at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Oh, no. Yeah. Sorry. 7 p.m. Eastern time, 4 Pacific. So that will be the next day in they're only doing 24-hour weigh-ins over there.
Oh, wow.
It's still a morning weigh-in, but because the show's in the morning, late morning / afternoon, they'll probably have less than when they do it here. And I don't know if that's good or bad with all the travel. I used to hear in the past that the UFC would grant them 2 or 3 extra days when it was long international travel. Because usually Tuesday's travel day. But think about it. If you left Tuesday, Las Vegas, and traveled to Australia, you'd get there Thursday. And yeah, you're fighting Sunday, but that just seems like, the water retention and unfamiliarity unless you've been there before. Woo, I don't know. Luke Rockhold and Yoel Romero. Oh, I take it back. Yoel Romero didn't go for the press conference. Only Rockhold did.
Mm-hmm. And Rockhold's fought there before.
Right. So he's got familiarity. They both come from the East Coast, and they both came from Florida. Actually, not too far away from each other. Hell, they may have been on the same flight. Romero's never really let himself go, and neither has Rockhold, but I mean, Romero's been wrestling since, what did he tell us here in studio? Like age 6, 5? I think we'll be all right, guys. I think we'll have ourselves an interim fight in Australia, and
that's the last.
The winner gets Whitaker. Yeah. Here's some other news. A little different from the last couple days where we were just starting off with fighters. We can touch on some of the news and take your calls at 866-522-2846. So Embedded is up. The number 3, if you've seen the first 2, number 3 is ready for you on the front page of MMA Junkie. And the other thing I wanted to discuss was Courtney Casey versus Michelle Watterson. Good, right?
Yeah.
Some nice fight bookings that we've been seeing. Yesterday we mentioned Tavares versus Christoph Jocko. However, is the Tavares mark. I mean, we've known this guy for pushing maybe 10 years here in Vegas. We went on a trip with him to visit the troops. You will get some bias. There it is. He has put in some time, and yeah, he's come up short, for example, against Romero. But he's worked his way back. He's got a win streak going. I just wanted something better than him, than someone coming off of a loss. Jotko lost to Uriah Hall.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Tavares was back to, hey, let's give him somebody, somebody either ranked ahead of him, and that's when it's okay, I guess, if it's coming off a loss. But
or like what Uriah got in a guy like Vitor, somebody.
Vitor, yeah, somebody, a legend. It'll be in Glendale, but once Tavares gets the assignment, that's it. He's focused on the assignment. It'll happen in 2 months, and then he can worry about pleading his case. Maybe the decisions hurt him, versus others when they finish. They, I don't know if the UFC grades these guys on a Monday. Hey, let's go over the card. Who's popping? Let's match the social analytics. What the fans are saying. And maybe they give them more preference. Who knows?
The matchup itself will be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm down with the matchup.
And if you think about the coaches, they've prepared for this guy before.
This is true. Baby Slice back at it again versus Devin Brock at Bellator 197 in Missouri. Michael Chandler will be trying to get his title back there versus Brett Primus. Lena, holy cow, Ovchannikova. Ovchnikova versus Denise Kielholtz. Woo! I feel bad for McCarthy and Morrow or Goldberg. That fight's going to be tough. You might just call her Lena O versus Denise Kielholtz. They'll be fighting in Budapest at Bellator 186. So back-to-back Bellator cards are already being filled. So they're starting to plan ahead a little bit. Good for them, you know. One other one here. Here's a good one. Goes Aljamain Sterling versus Brett Johns.
That one makes sense.
UFC Fight Night 128 in Atlantic City. Marias checked them.
Yeah.
Wasn't there one other one, or was that it?
No, I think that was it.
One with Yoel Romero.
Wow. I don't know about that.
He's barely a minus 145. It's not like...
I know the three of us went back and forth on this a lot. So I'm shocked that everybody turned that in like that.
Blades and Hunt are pretty split. Dan Tom's got Mark Hunt. Well, no, let me say it this way. Dan Tom, Trent Reinsmith, Ben Folks, Ken Hathaway, Fernanda Pratis, Brian Garcia, George Garcia, and Abby Subhan have Mark Hunt. Steven Morocco, no shocker there. He's got Curtis Blades. John Morgan, he's got Curtis Blades. Dan Stupp, Simon Samano, and Matt Erickson, along with Mike Bond. So it's pretty split. I'm joking because a few years ago when Mark Hunt fought Bigfoot Silva, I'm going to come to the defense of my fellow junkie. Bigfoot Silva had tested positive for something, an anti-doping violation. I don't think it was under the USADA rule, but still, they were still, you know, the main eventers were getting some enhanced testing, or maybe it was just regular testing. Who knows? I'm not going to pull up the story. It's not that important. But based on a prior incident, two guys had shared fight of the night bonus. So that's $50,000 each. And I think that incident was on the East Coast in New Jersey, actually. I want to say Miller and Pat. Remember the guy? Healy?
Pat Healy? Oh, he had his taken away, though.
He smoked, right?
Uh-huh.
Right. And so I think Miller doubled up because they hold you the night that you fight when they're back there getting checked by the doctor. Have you ever seen someone from, like, you know, the UFC brass hand them an envelope? That's usually their paycheck. And so they're getting their win and their I think it's their show they get right then and there. The win bonus, possibly discrepancies that are, that's what they're called discretionary bonuses. Those get in the mail later on, if you get them still, I don't know. Reebok, probably night of, who knows. But the one thing they hold on to is the bonuses, for sure. Maybe the win bonus, but those performance of the night bonuses. Back then it was sub and KO and fight of the night. Now they just call them all performance bonuses. So Morocco knew that had happened, and so if you all recall, the first fight was great, one of the greatest heavyweight fights ever. Bigfoot Silva and Mark Hunt, and then Bigfoot Silva has these problems. So Steven Morocco calls Mark Hunt and tells him, hey, did you hear? And Mark Hunt hadn't heard. And then I think he even told him, well, I also believe, or I know, or maybe best on precedence, I suspect, you may be doubling up. I mean, he called him to tell him good news. And so Hunt, I think, had a comment, and he's never really shied away from saying things about cheaters, right? Or alleged cheaters, or whatever you want to call them. So he said what he had to say, and then all of a sudden he just blew up on social media at Steven Morocco because I guess he thought the conversation was between them. So again, whatever he said, it wasn't that bad. I've heard worse. But the thing is, I'd have to ask Dan Stupp, but when reporters call, they're not calling to hang out. Hey, Mark, it's Steven Morocco from MMA Junkie. That right there, I think, already means in their world, what we talk about is on the record.
It's
and
supposed
I think
to be like that, but I think our industry's like a little different.
Well,
right?
a little bit, but maybe if Steven Morocco was calling Chael Sonnen. They're both from Portland. They've worked together for many years, and maybe they build up a little bit something more where you go, hey, wait a minute, are you going to put that in print, you know, whatever. I know with us it's way different. In fact, I go out of my way to say, I'll let you know when it's on record because there's just so many things that we see and people tell us, and, you know, that, yeah, I just don't want any problems. We don't report like that. We pass that on to reporters or our editors. But he blew up at him, and so I just have to say, I mean, Mark, what'd you think he was calling, you know, to ask if you had a guest room, that Morocco's going to be in town for 10 days and would love to crash at your spot. I mean, I don't know. And here I am defending our guy against one of the meanest savages, on this planet. So hopefully this doesn't come back to bite me in the ass. But, yeah, I mean, that happened, and I thought Mark Hunt was out of line. So, yeah, when I saw that, I knew Morocco was I knew he would be a little bit more confident in Blade's skill set. Moving on here, Tuivasa. Seems like he's pretty consistent. Where's old Matt Erickson? He's good for the upset. Nope. We all got Tuivasa. Jingling and Matthews. It looks like more Jingling. In fact, there's only 4 Matthews out there.
I went back and forth on
Mike
that
Bond,
one. I think
Matt
Matthews
Erickson,
a live dog.
Oh, he's tough. Hell yeah, he's a strong kid, man. And me, that's it. And then the other one is Tyson Pedro. It looks like everyone's got Tyson Pedro. This card is not sexy name-wise and rankings-wise. I still think fireworks could be provided. Do you call a buddy and say 30 each? Is it up to 64 now?
No.
32.50 each?
I wouldn't.
Do you call a third buddy and go 20 each?
Yeah, I think you do
21
that.
each?
Based on the main event, I think you do that.
Yeah?
Yeah, why not?
I mean, they have a title fight. Rockhold and Whitaker, I think they'd be in the same spot, right? I mean, Whitaker's exciting, but Romero's no joke.
Same thing, I think.
I hope this one does well. What are you going to say? I mean, I don't know. I hope it does well, though. Let's take a break, and then we'll start a run of calls. 866-522-2846. We already have a couple batters on deck. And we'll talk about the latest news, do some predictions. People were asking me about parlays. And I plan on, I already have one. I already played it. So I'll share that with you. Hopefully Goes has one as well. And, of course, our expert, our fight analyst, Dan Tom, has already done some pieces that you can see on MMA Junkie. When you go to one, they link up with the others. So we make it very easy for you to peruse and gain some knowledge and take some notes and obviously make your own decisions where it's legal. We'll be right back. It's MMA Junkie Radio on SiriusXM, Rush 93. All right, so here we are. We're breaking during Sirius right now. And this is live during the commercial. So let's see who's chilling in the Facebook chat. We got John Guerra, Seattle, if I'm not mistaken. Ryan Caddick, Erica Missilk, David Bugner, that's Bugsy. Kate Price, DJ Zoo, the one and only Danny Olkers, Martin Stabilo, aloha amigo. Raimundo Martin, that's Showtime.
It's his time.
Joe Mosqueda. Can you tell George the show starts at 9 a.m. Pacific?
What?
I don't know. Tyrion Cherry. That's it. You can leave us a comment there or a question, and we'll try and address it during the show. And since you're all in there, just hit that share button. Put it on your page just on a Friday. Do us that solid. You never know. One of your friends might go, hey, I've been looking for some MMA, an MMA show, and they didn't know about it. because they always go to Sure Dog, or they always go to Fighting, or they always go to Bloody Elbow.
Right,
And
guys,
little did they know that
back.
the 5-time winner is chilling right here every day.
We know our geometry better than your high school math teacher. Octagons, rings, and square circles on Sirius XM Rush 93 and the Sirius XM app. Mixed martial arts, boxing, pro wrestling, and so much more. We are Sirius XM Rush 93. Listen anytime on the Sirius XM app.
All right, on YouTube, Aaron C. Move your mic a bit away from your mouth.
You guys clear?
I don't listen to you, Aaron C. I listen to Danny Olkers. Danny Olkers, do I need to move my mic away? Or am I okay?
No, I think you sound fine to me.
Dan from Oregon, what's up, buddy? Knuckle Up 101. He's chilling. The Human Moron has made an appearance
Finally.
in the YouTube chat.
I'm worried we lost him.
CJKWI. He says, first time viewer, looking forward to Askren. CJ, he'll be on in about 30 minutes. And that's it. Oh, boy. They're very quiet over there at the YouTube chat. But how about that? I haven't been insulted. The show hasn't been insulted. We're doing good. Those are the savages. That's why I don't go to them as much, because I have to sift through all the BS. I don't get hurt from what you say, but I have to just sift through all that and scroll and, oh, okay, there's a contributor or there's a comment. Facebook people are a little bit more grown up. I don't know. What are they?
Humans.
Civil? Yeah. Check out this interaction. Just tell me if I need to calm my nerves. You want me to discuss it on the show? What time is it? How much time do we have?
Minute.
Yeah, I'll discuss it during the show. With only a minute to spare, Gigi makes an entrance. Kate, how do you know I'm not just lingering around? I could be out there. I've been spotted out there before. I sit in my car at times and just wait. Danny, what's so funny? You got gas?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Are you reading a comic book?
Yeah, you know me. Over here reading comic books.
Are you high or what?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I've been up since really early this morning.
You know, instead of saying, yeah, you know me, I'm reading a comic book, you know what you said?
What?
Yeah, you know me, I'm reading a comic book. I heard you wanted to say it, but the actual letters didn't come out. The words didn't come out.
Oh, yeah, I'm really tired this morning. I've been up since like 5. Stand by. Come back.
Hey, idiot! Yeah, you. Can you please tap that rather large fellow on the shoulder and tell him it's time for more MMA Junkie Radio with Gorgeous George and Goes? Thank you.
Start your day with SiriusXM. Enable the SiriusXM skill on your Amazon device. Then tell Alexa to set an alarm for your favorite channel, and you'll wake up to the sounds of SiriusXM. With SiriusXM and Alexa, you can get the latest sports news each morning without picking up your phone or turning on the TV. Hey, is the theme today Bend It Like Beckham?
That's Blondie. Oh, were they both?
That was on Bend It Like Beckham. I don't know if the other one was, but that one is.
I don't know. Danny's picking them today.
Play that one out a little, Danny. Turn it up. Is it Blondie or is it the Spice Girls?
No, this is Blondie. But the Spice Girl, what's her name? Melanie C. or one of those. She's also on there too.
Oh yeah. What are they doing here? Shopping for shoes in London?
Yeah. Hey, you know, you said Danny has been saying stupid things. This morning, he tried to convince me that Kevin Lee was at the Super Bowl screwing up. And I'm like, Kevin Lee? He's like, yeah, the actor Kevin Lee. I go,
just had the wrong last name.
But
I gave you like 3 different chances. I go, Kevin Lee? And you were like, yeah, Kevin Lee. And then you looked it up, and it was Kevin Hart. Something's wrong with him.
They all look alike, huh, Danny?
That's not what I meant at all.
And actually, Kevin Hart is really, really, you know, he's dark African American, and Kevin Lee's not. Hey, Goes, look at this Facebook. I actually shared it on my page.
Oh, no.
So you know how there's those guys that go to the skyscrapers and hang from it or just look down?
No.
These guys are the parkour guys, and they're jumping from one building to the next one.
Yeah, I don't like this.
Yeah, and go, look where they have to land. Look at that. Was that a foot?
Wait, is this the one that's the first-hand account? Like the camera guy is doing it too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've watched that one like 2 or 3 times. That one doesn't bother me as much as when you're looking at the guy that's like laying at the top of a building. And
Look at that.
like,
What?
yeah, there's some crazy stuff in that one.
They have to be precise. Look at that. Okay, I guess I kind of get that.
I don't like that.
I don't like it either. Okay, are your testicles going into your body right now? Why does that happen to us?
I don't know, because I think you just put yourself in that same situation. It's like, God, fuck that. I just know I would fall.
That's
to my
the
death.
end. Then they pull
I
a
can't
Buffalo
even,
Blue
like-
right here. Look.
Oh, yeah.
They just slide right down the middle.
I want to see somebody do that.
Okay,
at
but
T-Mobile.
look at the first couple. Just the first couple. It only takes like look at that. Look at that.
I don't know that I
Look
could
how
clear
precise they had to be. Look at that. Can't they just do these stunts on land? Like, all that's impressive. They don't need to be 70 stories up. And see how precise they have to be when they land? Ankles, knees, neck, spines. Okay. Oh, man, watch. There's another one coming up. Right there. Do you see where he landed? Do you see how he had to land and hit the brakes? He had to clear enough space so he didn't break his ankles, but then he had to be precise and land, or he would have went over the building.
Nope.
Are they wearing parachutes? No, right?
Yeah. I don't even think that would help at that height.
Oh, man, that's so nuts. All right, speaking of Facebook, here's another thing I noted yesterday.
So is this the thing that you teased?
Yeah, Junkie Nation, man. Boy, I'm thinking of making one of the events where I tell the girls, go get your toes done or something like that. I'm taking all the guys and we gotta talk. It would just be a Q&A with GG. And the reason I bring it up is because that Aaron from Texas,
He's a rascal.
he is a rascal. But he is setting himself up for to be completely dominated as his relationship goes. I'm trying to find why the fuck it's taking me so long to get there. But my point is, where is it? I may have to get back to this. All right. Joe Mosqueda, the Mosquito, he said, hey, is anyone going to Austin? And I told him, hey, I really strongly considered it. Flights weren't bad. The times worked. The event's on a Sunday. I could actually land on a Sunday, stay one night, and fly back early Monday and still do the show. Or I could go Saturday, catch weigh-ins, and hang out one night, and then also go to the fights the next day. But each time you do it, the hotel starts adding up. Plus, I don't think I would go as a credentialed media. I would want to hang out with junkies, so then I got to throw in my ticket. You know what I mean? Starts to add up, and for someone that just came off of major knee surgery, which I hate bringing up, but that's my reason. All of a sudden I started thinking things through, and common sense prevailed. But what was really, really hurting me was the hotel. I know where the fighters are staying, and I like to stay usually where the fighters are staying. Sometimes there'll be a strip of hotels, and I'm okay with staying in the next hotel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
just want to be near the lobby.
Right. And you know how much it was? $600 a night.
Come on.
$600 a night. I probably would have done.
Super Bowl ain't in town.
I know. It was ridiculous. And then anything nearby was $300 walking distance. And even then, dude, that's when that $300 is just one of these. Come in and watch how when you walk out, it's really gonna be $400 because it's gonna be some sort of a tourist tax and internet fees and what do we call them here? Resort.
Fees.
I just knew that's $400, and all of a sudden I just started doing this, starting to add it up, and then I just close the laptop and go, it'll have to be another time. Now another one I'm considering is possibly Chicago. Some Chicago junkies are.
I like that one.
Laying out, hey, what could be a really cool day, including a Cubs game. So, anyway, through it all, if I can find it, I'll find it for you now. You tell me, guys, if I'm being too harsh on this kid. I'm a big Aaron from Texas fan. He's a really, really nice guy, but sometimes he can be a sucker. He wrote, Sorry, bro. It's Valentine's Day weekend.
Well, right off the bat, what I'll tell you is you don't write that. Here's what you just don't write anything at all, if that's the way you feel.
The weekend before could be Valentine's Day weekend, too. But it's not Valentine's Day weekend. Valentine's Day is Wednesday. Hey, let's go to dinner. You can do the roses. You can sing her a ballad. You can hire a mariachi. Whatever the fuck you want to do. But Valentine's Day is Wednesday. You could celebrate it Wednesday. But no, he has to inform Joe just how out of line he was. Joe, who, by the way, is married. He's been through like 15 of these. How it's Valentine's Day weekend. And then he proceeds to say, she sacrificed, Veronica, the lovely Veronica, sacrificed not spending a weekend in Vegas for a bachelorette party. I think I can give a fight card to her. First of all, what you should have done is say, have fun in Vegas. Now you're a bachelor again. You have to have those breaks. If you're always attached, if you're always handcuffed, I'm telling you, you're 20% through the little honeymoon stage. For 5 years, you guys are going to be lovey-dovey. After 5 years, the relationship's all about respect, friendship, and you, obviously there's still love, but as far as that little lovey-dovey, it'll all be done. And I mean, I guess he's in it. Maybe that's it, but you need to learn how to, to separate. So I just think he's got a lot of things going against him. It's not like it's not like the 14th, the Sunday itself is the Valentine's Day. It's 4 days later. He should have said, have fun in Vegas. I'm going to do my thing. Yeah. We still could have done Valentine's on that day.
I just don't say anything at all.
Huh?
I just don't say anything at all. Or I say, I got plans, guys.
When Juliet tells me she's going to Cali, I almost pop a bottle of champagne, dude. Because I know I can call the squid. Huh?
Isn't she listening?
She knows. I can call the squid. The dog can sleep with me. I can stay up as late as I want without getting, scolded. You got to work tomorrow, all that shit. Hang out with some bud. I don't know. And then when she comes back, I'm ready to receive her. You know what I mean? And she goes off and hangs out with her sister. Her sister's like her best friend over there. And, she's got family and friends and all that. Aaron from Texas or Missouri or wherever. You blew it, buddy. All right, let's get to these calls. Oreo in Ontario, where? Alberta, Calgary, one of those. What's up, Oreo? How you doing? Where you from again?
Alberta.
Yep, okay. Alberta's the province, right? Yeah. Or the city?
It's the province.
And what's the city?
It's the province.
And what's the city?
I'm kind of in between though. Like I'm in St. Albert, Edmonton. So it's like I'm not pinpointing what city, so that's why I claim the whole province.
You claim the whole province?
Yeah, that's why I claim the whole province, because I'm everywhere.
I'm going to write Oreo from Edmonton. I like that. All right, what else is that? What's up, man?
Hey, I just had I was wondering if you could ask a question to Ben Askren for me.
Okay.
When he's on. I was just wondering if he was able to, I remember he was saying, I'm only going into UFC if I'm getting a title shot or something like that.
Right.
I'm just wondering if the brass was like, hey, we'll give you a shot, but you got to get through, the top 10, then top 5. We'll give you a quicker path to the title, but we won't give you a title shot right off the bat.
You mean back in the day? You mean back in the day, or this time if he were to go?
This time right now, because he's retired, right? But he said that he would only unretire.
All right, but if the UFC brass tells him, hey, we'll give you a highly coveted matchup and then a possible title shot, would he go? That's your question?
Well, not even highly covered, just starting from top 15 and up, because nobody knows who he is, right? So they're not going to give him a high-profile match right off the bat,
Well, you never know. They did it to Gilbert Melendez, and Eddie Alvarez only had to go through Cowboy, and I believe he would have gotten one, but he lost to Cowboy. So it's in the past, some fighters have gotten just the one matchup, and that's it. Others got the direct matchup, so it's not that foreign.
Okay, well, yeah, if you could just ask him, because I really want to see him in there. I think he's one of the best in the world, and I really think he could do damage. But it sucks if he, kind of lets his ego get in the way and not want to play ball a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have a feeling he collected some pretty big paychecks.
Think so? From one championship?
I think he did, yeah. Because he seems like too smart to let things go away like that.
Mm-hmm.
Just doesn't seem like a guy that's savvy would let his career slip
We'll
away.
find out
I
soon.
think he's made some good money.
He'll be on in about 15 minutes. All right, Oreo, you got a prediction for this weekend? Romero or Rockhold?
Yeah, man. I got Rockhold. I bet Rockhold at the beginning when he was a favorite, and then when he was an underdog, and then the line switched to him being a favorite. So I could care less either way. I'm gonna make money either way. But if I had to choose, I would definitely say Rockhold because he's more well-rounded, and Yoel Romero's gas tank is horrible. So yeah, I got Rockhold. Probably in the 4th round.
You got it,
By
buddy.
TKO ground and pound.
Thanks for that.
All right,
Thanks for the phone call. You like Rockhold in the 4th? So do I.
I think a little bit later in the fight.
Because that's where Romero's going to be more tired, and that's when a leg kick to the head can sneak through.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I once was in a high-speed car chase. And so I can say this without anyone going, come on, fool, when's that ever going to happen? One day I'm going to be in a bank, and they're going to rob it. They're going to tell everyone to hit the floor, right? When I do that, I'm going to call you, and I guarantee you I'll be louder on that call than this fool Oreo when he calls into this show. Doesn't it always seem like he's in a situation like that?
A little bit, yeah.
Where, like, the bad guys are just around the corner,
desk.
so he's just, hey, man.
Like George Costanza?
What's going on? Yeah. But I'm going to be a couple decibels higher just to prove
He's
to
gotten
Oreo
better.
that he could do it.
He was worse than that.
He was. Marco from Waco. What's up, Marco? How you doing?
Marco from Waco. ¿Qué pasa, Atos?
¿Qué pasa, man?
Right off the bat, man, the first South American country the USA ever went to was Brazil. The second one is going to be Chile. A little bit surprised. I'm glad, but I am surprised. I thought it was going to be Argentina or something like that. But they're going to Chile in May, man. It's confirmed.
You know,
I'm happy about that.
And you should be. That is huge for the UFC, for the country of Chile. Let me say this much. Argentina would be a logical number 2 because it's the second biggest country, and Buenos Aires is a huge city, and they love their sports athletes. And they have a guy like Ponzinibbio, who I know lives in Brazil now, but is from Argentina, where you could kind of build around, right? But not far behind, I would have guessed, is Peru, because Lima is also a massive city, and there's clearly not just Valentina Shevchenko, but about 3 or 4 other athletes that are from Peru. I don't know any from Chile. There may be one from Chile. Marco could probably tell us who. Okay, but there's at least, like, Masvidal's mom is Peruvian. Well, I take it back, but the kid that fought at versus Gagey, Palomino, but he's not in the UFC, so never mind. But Valentina Shevchenko has become a Peruvian national. Yeah, Bandone, who had the visa issues, he won't be fighting in Austin soon. But the other one, Barzola, the one tough. Kenny Florian's parents are Peruvian, so I'm sure it would be big for him, and it'd be great for him to travel. But he could be an ambassador for the UFC that weekend, whether it was hosting a Q&A or just doing, being there for the whole week.
But you're overlooking something.
Could have sworn there was somebody else other than those that are Peruvian. And then also Gaston Bolanos and his buddy, I don't know if any of them are ready to, well, Bolanos was tied to Bellator, but remember the other kid, the one that fought a lion fight? I think he said he was going to come over to MMA at some point. So I don't know, man.
You're overlooking one thing, though. When they look at those demographics, they go, all right, whose day can we make? Because you look at it and you go, all right, who qualified for the World Cup? They're already happy, all those people, right? So then you go to the scrubs that didn't make it, and you go, how can we make it up to them?
That's a really good point.
Because they're going to have more money to spend. Like, if you go to Peru, they're all spending money because they're going to Russia.
Right.
They're not going to go to these fights.
Right. So there's
But
a lot
if you
of
pick a country like, I don't know, Chile, that didn't make the World Cup, they got a lot of money to spend.
There's a lot of disposable income that's ready there to spend on. That's an awesome point, Goes. I get what you're saying.
To bring that out. Never mind the fact that we destroy you twice in the Copa America. It's okay.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a fight in parlor real quick. So give me a Teruto Guerrero Ishihara.
What the
fuck? Win over Formiga.
Were you karaoke right now? What was that? What was that you just said?
Teruto, where my
Ishihara. Okay, you want Ishihara.
Okay. Give me Ben Win. Maestro Don John Kim.
You think Ben Win's going to win?
Cortez. Yep.
Okay.
I think Ben Win is going to win. I think he's going to win over Formiga.
Okay.
Maestro Don John Kim. Give me a Cortez Place over Hunt. Because Hunt have trouble against wrestlers. and Yukon national champion, I take my chance with Curtis Blades. And Rockhold becoming the interim middleweight champion over Romero.
I got Ishihara, Win, Blades, Rockhold. Did I miss one? Or is it just a 4-teamer?
I'm a Maestro Don John Kim.
Maestro. Okay. You got it, man. Thanks for the call.
Peace out, dude.
See ya. All right, folks. We're going to take another break. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. When we come back, I'll tell you my parlay. It's a 3-teamer. I can go to 5, but I need some more research, which means basically reading what Dan Tom's got to say. Because if you look at the stat picks, he is clearly in the lead, and I have a feeling he may smash us unless we start picking better. Who knows? But no, yeah, there's a few people I get feedback from, and there's I'm always tempted by 5-teamers versus 3-teamers, but sometimes 3-teamers is just good enough, man. MMA is such a crazy sport. When anyone can hit a parlay, I'm simply amazed, especially when it's up in the 4, 5, 6 fight pick range, because it's the Wild West, man. Anything can happen. You just don't know what athlete's going to arrive. So we'll be right back to talk about this when we come back.
That'd probably be the worst level.
They can drink Mentos-flavored Diet Coke without their stomachs giving a single fuck. They are Gorgeous George and Goes. And this is MMA Junkie Radio.
It's the Impossible Springsteen ticket, and we're giving them away to SiriusXM subscribers. SiriusXM's E Street Radio is filling all the seats for the March 14th performance of Springsteen on Broadway. Grand prize winners will get air, hotel, and tickets to this exclusive show. For official rules and to enter, go to SiriusXM.com/Springsteen. No additional purchase is necessary. All right. Ben Askren will be joining us in about 7 minutes. We have a few minutes here to talk parlays. Yeah, one guys?
Yeah, I am going to go with Ben Wynn.
For UFC 221, sorry.
What's that?
No, I was saying we're going to talk parlays for UFC 221.
I'm going to go with Ben Wynn. I'm going to go with Mizuto Hirota. And my last one, I'm going to go with Israel Adesanya.
Do you know the odds?
No. But they're pretty, I mean, I saw him the other
Izzy's
day.
a big favorite. In fact, I'll just look.
But I'm starting to like Rockhold more and more. You always say stay away from 4. 4?
Well, I always did that when I was playing minus 110. It's a little different with these lines that shift. But I would still either just do 3 or 5. I mean, the odds is what I'm most concerned about. Especially because this is a staggered sport versus other sports sometimes kick off at the same time. You just can't do that. You do have the luxury here, though. Now you have to hustle. One fight ends. You have about 5 minutes to decide before they truck in the other guys or gals. All right. Who was it again, guys? Look, first, let me tell you. Izzy is Israel. Where is he? Oh, minus 360.
Ben Nguyen.
Minus 115.
And Hirota.
Hirota?
Mm-hmm.
Mizuto Hirota plus 125. So, okay, you got your dog. Wynn's not a big... Oh, Wynn's a dog, too, but he's actually minus 105. Formiga's minus 125. So he's still got a minus next to him, but it's like he's the underdog in the fight. So you have 2 underdogs. One's a slightly bigger underdog at plus 125. You have a big favorite, but you're still looking at about...
huge, though.
Minus 3... What did I say? 360. So, yeah, it's not like Valentina was, minus 1,100. So, I would say that your $100 would pay you 500. Your 10 would pay you 50 on something like that. Mine, I did do a 5-teamer. This is my little guy. Mark Hunt, Formiga, so we're on the opposite side there. Ishihara, I'm with Marco. Tyson Pedro and Tuivasa. I just feel like them 2 sluggers are going to go out there and do their thing. Even though one's minus 275, the other one's 285, I just feel safe in playing those guys. And I really wanted to do a 5-teamer. My 3-teamer, though, would be Hunt, Formiga, and Ishihara. I have my underdog in Ishihara. I have a slight favorite in Formiga. Well, no, I have 2 underdogs, Hunt and Ishihara.
Not bad.
When I do a 3-teamer, I usually do it for 50. When I do a 5-teamer, I do it for 25.
But I really do feel like Ben is going to be too much.
Really?
Yeah.
Formiga can strike, and he's a hell of a grappler. He is traveling, and Wynn is like 4 or 5-1 in the UFC. He's no joke. But I think
his pace will be too much.
I think this one might be a tough one. He's been ranked so high. We'll see, man. You're scaring me now. All right, when we come back, we'll be talking to Ben Askren, undefeated fighter, former Bellator and 1 championship welterweight, along with being an Olympian, NC2A star, everything. We'll be right back.
The same again. I'm gonna keep on the run. I'm gonna have me some fun. It cost me my very last dime. If I wind up broke, well, I'll always remember that I had a swing in time. I'm gonna
George.
Hi.
Hi. Is Bellator calling us, or are we calling Ben?
Now, why would Bellator be calling?
Because he used to be a Bellator fighter?
It's a decent save. Now, we'll be calling him. So, how do you want the number?
Either Facebook or text.
Okay, I'll text it to you.
Okay, thank you.
You have his number, Ghost?
Ben Askren's?
Yeah.
No.
You want to write it down, or? It's right there. I was trying to add you to an existing thread, but I couldn't. All right, here we go. It's the MMA Junkie Radio Show, second hour. Our next guest can be followed on Twitter at Ben Askren, two-time NCAA champion, 2008 Olympian, and a former champion in the welterweight division, Bellator MMA, and then finished his career at one championship. Finished because he's retired. But I still think there's like a 5% chance with the right matchup, my man could be back in the cage or a ring or wherever it is they draw him to. But it's got to be a big name because he's a big name himself. He finished with an 18-0 record, and again, 2 major titles. The skins on his wall are very impressive, and so that's what he should come out for, is a super fight. I don't think there's anything else to prove. He joins us now on the hotline. What's up, Ben Askren? How you doing?
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me. That was a nice intro. I appreciate that. And there's not a 5% chance. There's a 100% chance that if I get the opportunity to prove that I'm the best in the world, then I'm coming back. And I made that statement from before I retired, and that statement still is true.
Okay. Who are those names that qualify? Update us on who gets your tail wagging.
Unfortunately, Tyron and I are really good friends, so I'm not going to fight Tyron. But the one that I think will qualify is George St. Pierre. And he's kind of in limbo. He relinquished his 185 title, so I think he's up in the air.
Yeah.
That's the name that I would like to see. With Rory just beating Douglas Lima in a very competitive bout. If Douglas gets off his damn back one time in the 5th round, he's going to win that fight.
Yeah.
I think GSP is the only one that really interests me that much.
Why not Rory, though? Rory has a win over your friend Tyron. He is the Bellator MMA champion,
sure.
And, Douglas could have gotten up, but he didn't. And Rory, showed a lot of grit. And Rory's not only, he's also beaten other good fighters along the way, too.
Absolutely. So I guess the answer to that is that I'm not interested in being number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. I'm interested in being number 1. I did everything else I could in my mixed martial arts career. I won every fight. I made a whole bunch of money. I got out healthy. But the only thing that interests me is to prove that I'm actually number 1.
Okay.
And, I think here's what happens. If I go beat up Rory, everybody says, Rory's over the hill. He barely beat Douglas Lima, who's not that good, allegedly. And he lost his last 2 fights in the UFC to Stephen Thompson and Robbie. So, yeah, when Ben beat Rory was washed up. That's exactly what I think the narrative goes.
You don't think they'd say that about GSP, though?
GSP just knocked out Michael Bisping.
Yeah.
I think GSP is widely regarded as the greatest welterweight of all time.
I agree.
So he's got a lot farther to go.
It just seems like GSP, look, he did what he needed to do, and he did beat Bisping. You're right. He got him, but I've just seen a better GSP is what I'm saying. So that's why I was saying I wouldn't say washed up because he won a major title, but I've just seen I thought I've seen him fight better in the past. Could be, he was just bigger and maybe he was dealing with the stomach issues and he didn't even know it at the time, but I get it. He is the greatest welterweight ever, so I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, so that's what it comes down to. Is that, I don't need to make any more money fighting, and I feel like there's one thing left to prove, and that's I've been number 1 for about the last 5 years, and I've unfortunately never had the opportunity to prove that fact. So that's the one thing left that interests me.
Now, there is one other option I see. Tyron Woodley, your good friend and former teammate, has said he respects you so much he would actually move up to 185, which would mean he vacates his belt. Would Ben Askren then step in?
When did he say that? I never heard that.
He said it. I promise you. He said that before. He would actually move up and vacate his belt, and he would fight at 185. So, of course, that would allow you to fight somebody in the UFC for a vacant belt. If that happens, is there another name, if it isn't GSP, that you would do that for?
I guess whoever the next one after Tyron.
Okay.
Who is number 2?
I guess depending
RDA?
If you look at USA
RDA?
Today or UFC, it could be anywhere from
RDA,
Thompson, RDA, Lawler.
Covington's a jabroni. He's not number 2.
He's number 3, I think.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess I didn't realize that Tyron said that, but I guess that if that were to somehow play out, then sure, why not?
Okay,
Let's
so
have some fun.
So the belt will actually represent exactly what you're trying to accomplish.
No,
as well.
I don't care about the letters UFC or the belt. I just care about being widely regarded as the best.
Is there a time frame when this needs to happen, whether it's your age or just a certain amount of time from when you retired? Like, could we keep talking about this every 6 months for the next 2-3 years, or does this have to happen soon?
Yeah, I'd appreciate that, George. No, I think I'm 33. I've taken very good care of my body. I've never taken PEDs, so there's no ill effects from that. I've never had very major injury since college, which is my neck, and that's been fine for over a decade, so I'm fine there. So, as far as it's concerned, I'm very healthy. I'm planning on staying in good shape, maybe not fighting shape, but, I run the wrestling academy, so I train with a lot of the guys, and I live a generally healthy lifestyle. So I don't see myself getting, as one of those guys that's going to age really quickly. I won't think that's going to happen to me.
And then lastly, everything has to be for a belt, or what about for a big payday, like on the UFC Chicago card, which is as close as they'll get to, your hometown, like a Diaz brother or something like that?
I don't know how many different ways I gotta say it. I just want to be number one. That's it. I just want to be number one.
Okay. Fair enough.
I want to prove that. I want to prove that I'm number one. That's it.
Gotcha. All right. Goes. What do you have for Ben Askren?
Sometimes you don't have to make. We don't have to make complex, simple issues complex. They can be simple. I just want to be number one.
I know, but I guess what I'm trying to prevent is next week you're on 2 other shows and they ask you something that I asked you and you go, well, that's interesting. I didn't think of that. I just meant like these Diaz brothers. They, everyone wants to fight them because apparently.
When I beat up the Diaz brothers for a lot of money, that might be fun. Can you believe that they're giving Nate the title shot against Tyron?
Is that happening?
And I know Dana said it was. I don't know. I know it's been discussed for a while.
Yeah.
And when Dana says something's a lie, that usually means the exact opposite. That usually means in fact it is true and it is likely to happen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're hearing that. It could be RDA. Who knows? All right. It goes. What do you have for Ben Askren?
Ben, the whole proving that you're number one, that's proving it to everyone else, right? But within yourself, there's no doubt, is there?
Not really. I mean, I thought I've been the best welterweight in the world for the last, 6 years or so. So like I said, and obviously it's been widely detailed that I've not got the opportunity to fight any of those best guys. And really, I knew Lima was really good at the time I fought him. I knew Koreshkov was really good at the time I fought them, so I knew those guys were good. And if we look at the history of MMA, the UFC has this mystique or this aura about it, which just isn't true. And if we look back at all the organizations they acquired, if you look at, say, WEC, those fighters were thought of as second rate. Well, within short order, Ben Henderson and Anthony Pettis became champions. Strikeforce thought of as second rate. Well, a bunch of the Strikeforce people became champions. And so when you fight for the UFC, you all of a sudden get like an immediate ranking boost for no particular reason besides the fact that you fight for the UFC. And it's been proven over and over and over again through the history of time that people who come from other organizations are equally as skilled and will become champions in short time. Not like it's 5 years later. Like in short order, they'll become champions. And so the fact that I think Koreshkov and Lima are both very high level competitors who were are never given the bump that they deserve because they also never competed for the UFC. And I think that was proven. Rory, there's no way anyone says Rory's not a top 5 welterweight. And Lima, gave him a very, very competitive fight. One that I thought if Lima just stays off his damn back around 5, he wins. And so I think there is that very strong UFC bias, which gives people a bump in the rankings lots of times unnecessarily.
That GSP matchup is something that hardcores have been talking about for a really long time. When you think about that matchup and when you talk about GSP, it's that you think that you're better than him, but not that he's overrated, correct?
Correct. And I think I have the strength to exploit his weaknesses. If you look at all GSP fights, when he starts getting tired, and he's not like in his younger years, he was really dynamic striking-wise, and now he's a great striker, but he doesn't like to mix it up in the exchanges, and so what you see is the fight goes on, and this is true with the Bisping fight, he starts going for the takedowns very frequently. And he's successful almost every single time. And so that's the thing that I think I would negate against him is I don't think he'd be able to take me down. And if he was able to take me down, he wouldn't be able to keep me down. He'd find himself in a scramble that he'd be on the losing end of. And I'm also not going to get tired, and I'm not going to stay on my back. And so I think it creates a really interesting matchup dynamic in the fact that he's not going to be able to take me down and hold me down. And if you think about, say, the last 5 years of his career, with Michael Bisping fight, who he took down a handful of times, or Carlos Condit, or you name it, he took the guys down and held them down and beat them up, which is perfectly a fine tactic for fighting. I love it myself. I'm just saying he's not doing that against me.
Okay. Okay, I know you flew to Vegas years ago, met with Dana, or Lorenzo, I believe, Dana via conference call.
13, 14, somewhere in there.
Right. I like that you took control of your career and you did that move. I saw the Rogan podcast and you explained that. But also, I think somebody tweeted, hey, look at Ben Askren and Reebok, and I think it's because you were cornering Woodley. So what I want to ask you was, in these other times you've been out to Vegas or just any of these cards, have you had a chance to even cross paths with them again since those meetings?
Cross paths, but we've never sat down and talked. And I guess kind of, on the Rogan podcast, I finally fully explained what happened to me in that negotiation process, and hopefully it gave everyone a better understanding of why I could never, ever trust Dana. I mean, never. They screwed me over about as bad as anyone could be screwed over. And the fact that it didn't engender more outrage through the fight community was kind of puzzling to me, and I think it's just that everyone's only worried about themselves. Everyone wants to take care of themselves in the fight community, and that's where, I don't know that a union is the answer, but there needs to be a way for fighters to have better representation of themselves. And so, if we look at that situation is
Ben, you there? Uh-oh. Is he still with us, Danny?
He's still connected.
Ben, did you hit your mute button by any chance? Huh. Ben, did someone put you in a rear naked choke?
Hey, sorry, I don't know what happened. I cut off there.
All right, there you are.
I was in the middle of a rant, so can I keep going?
Keep going, man. Rant along.
Okay. Yeah, so I was just saying, I got screwed over, and the fighters need, I don't know that the union's the exact answer, but they need someone to have representation, so things like that don't happen, because it was just so underhanded. It was so dirty. It left me with such a bad taste in my mouth that I don't even want to talk to Dana. I don't trust a damn word that comes out of his mouth. I don't trust a word. And so, it's like, well, why did I never pursue that again? Well, because the first time I got screwed over just as bad. It was just about as dirty of a deal as anyone could give you. And so, no, I don't want to have that discussion again. I don't trust them one bit. Mm-hmm. And so that's where I think, obviously, with that story, man, fighters should be mad about that because, yeah, that happened to me then, but don't think they're not going to do it to you at some point.
For those that are just listening and may not have caught the Rogan podcast, can you just summarize what happened, just so that it kind of connects the dots for anyone that's listening to this for the first time?
Yeah. Yep, I can do that. It's and I'll just do a quick and dirty version. Quick and dirty version is I'm in a matching clause. They just went to the court over Eddie's matching clause. Eddie was the second fighter to leave Bellator, Hector being the first. Eddie's contract became public. They didn't want the same thing to happen with me. So they told me, get out of your matching clause with Bellator, and we will take care of you. I spent the time, and I got out of my matching clause, and literally the day that they had a fax in their office that said Ben Askren has a full and clear release from Bellator MMA. The day that they got that fax, Dana goes from saying we're very interested in Ben Askren to saying we are not interested in Ben Askren. And so, I got caught in the middle. So I burned one bridge, only to have another bridge burned by somebody else.
Mm-hmm. And to save us the investigating, not that we don't trust you at your word, what could have happened in between there? Because I know in your interviews, you've never shied away from you know, when you feel something about someone, you say it. But by then, had you ever said anything derogatory that just may have caught him on a bad day or done anything? No,
everything that I said was before then or after that.
If you had to take a guess, why do you think that happened? He just woke up that day and decided to be disingenuous.
I don't think it was that day. I think that was the plan. I think the plan was to steal one of Bellator's best assets, myself, away from them, which he did by getting me to get the full release. At the same time, for a few reasons, I outlined the reasons on the Rogan podcast, but for a few reasons, to then also screw me at the same time. So he screwed Bellator and he screwed me. And I think what he thought would happen is I would probably go to World Series of Fighting, which is, they tried to offer me that Zuffa confidential contract, and I would go to World Series for a fight. I think he probably ended up I would end up at World Series of Fighting, and I know that because Ali Abdelaziz called me about 57 times within the next 2 days, and I would fight there, and then I would end up back in the UFC, within 6 months or something. I think that was what he thought, but obviously I just had other plans. I got a great offer from one championship. I went there, and that was where I fought the rest of my career.
Man, I mean, I just don't get this. An Olympian who can talk smack, who's undefeated.
Back it up.
Wow. that's just something that should have happened.
Well, and Dana's never officially answered the question. Every time he's asked a question, he comes up with some asinine response that Ben Askren's not experienced enough. He's not good enough. If there was ever a more asinine response, when the UFC currently has a champion that has a record of 3-2. Think about that, guys.
Yeah.
He wouldn't sign me to a contract because I was too inexperienced and not good enough, which it's such an obvious and blatant lie that I don't know that I have to even quantify that. But they currently have a champion who's 3-2.
And by the way, Ben wrestled on the same team, if I'm not mistaken, as Cejudo and Cormier as well. So, I mean,
correct.
They all went together. They all had skills. Ben, not to diminish the other guys, but Ben obviously outdid. Well, Cejudo didn't go to college, if I'm not mistaken, but he outdid what Cormier did in college. So, yeah, I guess it was just personal, and I wonder what else it could have been. That he would do.
Well,
this.
so I'll just recap very fast what I said on the Rogan podcast. I think it was a few things. That number one, they wanted to steal an asset from Bellator. Number two, he did have a slight personal distaste for me because of the you saw the thing that I made the comments about. Number three, I think they didn't really like my style, and number four, I think they thought I was someone who could actually win the UFC belt. And if I go directly from Bellator, who being the champion, come straight to the UFC and be the champion. Now the Bellator is going to say, well, look, we're just as good. Our champion is their champion. We're skill-wise, we're the same.
Yeah.
So I think that was, I kind of outlined those in more length, but for a reason, those would be reasons that I think that it happened.
Yeah, well, I still think they misplayed their hand because they could have done what they did with Alvarez and given him a fight before getting the title fight. They did it with Gil, straight from Strikeforce to the UFC. So it's not like they hadn't done it before, but with Alvarez, they gave him the one fight. And then Alvarez wound up becoming a champion anyway, and I don't believe that Bellator said much about that anyway, so I think the UFC made a mistake there. Hey, Ben, where did you have a better run? Where did you enjoy your run more? One championship or Bellator, or are they just different and you both enjoyed both?
Yeah, they're different. I was at way different points in my career. I mean, with Bellator, I signed there when I was 3-0, and the fight before I fought in Bellator, I made $600, and so jumping from that to where I made $100,000 in three fights was a huge jump, and it was kind of funny seeing them grow from nothing to being what they are today.
Yeah.
And then when I went to one championship, I was very well established, and they took care of me, and they treated me like the champion that I was. And with them, it was also kind of the same thing. I think I joined at one championship 14, and I want to say they're on 61, I believe, right now. Or they're very far down the line, and they're a really dominant player in Asia, and they're already making big moves this year, and I think they're only going to grow bigger.
All right, one last question from me. If the dream match becomes available, GSP, he gets healthy, and they make it happen, do you have a certain price tag that needs to be made?
It will happen.
There you go. I like that confidence. All right. Is there a certain price tag that needs to be met for to have Ben Askren?
No. I'm telling you guys, listen, I'm not super rich. I don't have $20 million. But I've been intelligent enough with my money where I don't need to make, if it happens to make $1 million, fantastic. But I don't need it. That is not my main motivation in any way, shape, or form. My main motivation is, as I repeated before, to prove I'm number one in the world. And I think that it will happen at the Bell Center, me versus GSP, probably sometime late 2019.
Hey, look at that.
Hey, yeah, I'll take that.
Is there a part of you that kind of likes not only beating him, but going into his territory and doing it?
I love it. I always love wrestling with other people in their hometowns.
Okay. Well, it's been a great catch-up, my man. Thank you very much for joining us here on the show, and I hope that works out for you. We'll cross our fingers that it does. I think it'd be an epic matchup, you and GSP.
I appreciate it, guys.
All right, take care. See you, Ben.
See you.
Couldn't have been more open, right?
Yeah, and I like the prediction.
2019, at the end of 2019. So GSP, he's allowing GSP to get healthy. It also gives some time
got to get back
so
down
that
to the
if
weight too.
Tyron either maybe defends a few more times and bounces from the sport, he doesn't have to cross that bridge. Or if Tyron moves up, I'm positive Tyron said that though, so I don't have to hear any backlash there. I know he said it. He said he would move up for his friend to come to the UFC, and I was like, wow, that's a homie right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, so I guess we'll wait and see how this plays out. He won 100%. We'll come back for the right matchup to prove he's number one. And there's a couple paths there, but it seems like the one he really wants is GSP. And I know the UFC wants GSP to fight. And if GSP is electing not to fight Tyron or Connor or a Diaz brother, then at least there's another option. And who knows if – what's that?
He's a very unique individual because when you think about it, there's not very many people out there that aren't really driven by money, especially those amounts of money, right? Being able to come back and just do it for whatever he normally gets paid. And then having a friend that's a champion. A lot of guys, for the right amount, would probably do it. They seem like they both just wouldn't do it for any amount. He's kind of a unique guy.
We'll have to have a part two because if you look at his Twitter handle, at Ben Askren, looks like he's dabbling in the crypto coin business, maybe. I don't know. Or maybe he's just retweeting. But there's a few things there that he does, aside from his wrestling camps and schools with his brother. And subscribe to his podcast. He's really, really interesting guy, speaks his mind. If you're a wrestling fan, you'll love it. It's called T-Row and Funky Show. You can subscribe on iTunes, which means you wake up when the episode drops. I believe they go weekly. And, it's really easy to just put on the headphones and hit play. And like I tell all of you when we're plugging other shows, leave them a review. It helps a lot with algorithms. That's what iTunes is all about, is algorithms, and reviews help a lot. In fact, we may have some time to read a couple today. We've accumulated some since the last time, and it's just cool to hear who's listening, where they're listening, what you like about the show, and what you dislike about the show, because not every review is a 5-star. I mean, the 5 stars are awesome. Sometimes they're 4, and they'll tell you if they only, and you try and improve, or if you can, if you can't. And then there's some people that'll just give you the 1 and 2. They felt like they had to tell you what it was, but it actually hurts the algorithm. But whatever. So maybe that's what we'll do when we come back. And I also want to talk a little bit about the Junkie Gathering. I think about 2 weeks has gone by, and so maybe we may have a move to make here.
I would also like
thank you to Ben Askren for his time. The Human Moron? Do you know who it is?
You have 30 minutes. Call in Human Moron.
Do you know who the Human Moron is? Either do I. Okay.
But
wouldn't that be cool if it was a new person?
They talk to him every day. He's a nice guy.
Yeah. Human Moron, the number is 866-522-2846. All right, it's MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. Stay close. We'll be right back. Ready to go?
Go ahead.
All right, we're on commercial with SiriusXM, so now I'm back in the YouTube chat. Let's see here. Who's talking? The Human Moron. This is exclusively for you. We'd love to hear from you. 866-522-2846. I know some of you are asking what happened to yesterday's show. Ghost had some technical difficulties, so if you watch on YouTube and for whatever reason we're not on that day, if there were to ever be technical difficulties in the future, or if we were to just not broadcast live on YouTube, you can listen to us facebook.com/official MMA Junkie. Now, another thing you can do, if you say, I'm not on Facebook, you can just go to our app and stream live there, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you could still do that.
Let me check and make sure, because we've had some updates. Go ahead.
What YouTube wasn't able to go, and in order to fix that, I would have to stop all of the broadcasts and start over. And because there's another avenue, which is Facebook, then we would be off both. So it just doesn't make sense.
Maybe we can. That's to subscribe. They give you the options there. I apologize. I haven't been back on the app in a while to see how what the options are. What's the window that's streaming daily on the app? Let's see. If I click here, I'm on my iPhone, and that's telling. That's yesterday's. Today's, if you hit this and you hit this window, it's the Facebook. So I believe by hitting this, even if I didn't have Facebook, I'd be able to watch. Oh, great. All right, look, just go to fucking Facebook, right? Open one or whatever, and that way if YouTube doesn't work, you have an option. Hit that button.
Explosive takedowns, jaw-dropping KOs, and electrifying submissions. If it happens in the world of mixed martial arts, we're talking about it on SiriusXM Rush 93 and the SiriusXM app. From cage side to ringside, we're bringing you closer to the action every day on SiriusXM Rush 93 and the SiriusXM app.
Try reloading it.
All right, let me read these comments and then I'll do that. Let's see here. Deathstroke OG, Aaron C. is in the chat. Don Piccolo. Aaron C. is saying if you want to be widely regarded as the best, then it's got to be in the UFC. It doesn't have to be, but it's the easiest way. For many years, Fedor was regarded as the #1 heavyweight, and he wasn't in the UFC ever. And as Ben pointed out, and we pointed out many times, there was some successful fighters that came over from Strikeforce and WEC, along with Pride, outside of Fedor, that came over and proved themselves. So the hardcore fans know. It's the casual fans that don't know. And it's the casual fans, along with everything that comes with being in the UFC, that allow you to be not only widely regarded, but also have a wider wallet. You know, so it does behoove you at some point to come over if that's what you want. But that belt does mean something. I think the guy tried everything he could to come over, and he's explained to you what happened. But now that the career's over and you reflect, you just look back and go, wow, that was an incredible career the guy had. You know, he's very similar to GSP and Habib in their offense and what they do. Yeah, they'll stand as much as they need to, but then they get you on the ground and smother you.
Guys are back in a minute.
His wrestling is probably on a higher level than both of those guys. His wrestling for MMA is arguably about the same. And don't forget, he's also a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. So the striking, I think he'd be the first to tell you, hey, I'm not going to be fighting for glory anytime soon. Or Lion Fight Muay Thai. He would actually tell you that. He's got a great sense of humor. But he didn't really need to, did he? So I don't know. Whatever.
Guys are coming back in 30.
We're coming back in 30 anyway.
One call. It's not from the Human Moron, but...
What if Ben from New Zealand was the Human Moron?
That'd be awesome.
And this whole time he's been calling anyway.
That seems like his personality, too.
By the way, the rankings are Woodley #1, Thompson #2, McDonald #3, Covington #4, Dos Anjos #5. That's USA Today Sports and MMA Junkie in conjunction with each other. And those are better than the UFC rankings. Get used to them.
Stand by.
They come out every Tuesday.
Z. Up, up, down, down, left, right, BA, start. You told me that code would get rid of them. Yeah, well, they're still here. Okay, but now they know I tried to kill them. Hold on, Mom. Here are George and Goes.
Here is a parlay from Ford in Las Vegas. Quinones, Win, Kim, and Pedro. The last two sound like some couple that's fighting another couple, right? Kim and Pedro?
Hey, by the way, he mentioned Win. Obviously, it's a different Win. But Steve Win, did you see he had to resign?
I did.
What a doofus, huh?
Well, I mean, I don't know what he did. I mean, yeah, you're right. To do what he did, he's more than a doofus. I don't know to what degree he did. Was he raping? Or
Nah,
what are these
I don't think
allegations?
so. I think those.
Or just suggesting that you could move up in the company if you give me a lap dance? What was he doing?
Probably stuff like that.
Yeah? Regardless, he got caught. And he did have to resign from his own corporation or whatever it is.
So that's another Win.
Steve Win?
Yeah.
And this is Ben Win.
No, Ben Win. When you are you thinking twice about your pick or not?
No, I like Formiga.
Yeah.
He's pretty tough. And he gets that body triangle on you, man, and he's legit. Who's Dan Tom taking?
I don't know.
Yeah, that. Maybe he might sway me. He sees a lot. It's not like he's never wrong. What is he, like 11-7? What's his record?
Stuff?
Yeah.
Overall?
Yeah. I mean,
he's ahead.
MMA, yeah, he's ahead by 2 picks. But you know, it's not like he's 15-7. So 2/3 of the time he's right. He does the homework. He pours over it. What's my record? Eesh, I'm 11-11.
Are you? What the hell?
I started off.
Oh, the last card you went like 1-4.
I think I started off
like
8-2 or something. Yeah, I had one moment of glory at the top, but I've been collapsing since then. What do you guys?
I'm probably not that far ahead of you.
You're 11-11.
Am I 11-11?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And
Man,
our picks are
that got out of hand. The whole give everybody
Matthews and Jingling. There's the only one that we don't agree on.
Well, all right. I had to make a pick. But gambling-wise, I like Matthews.
With Dan Tom, I have Matthews. He's got Jingling. Everything else is the same, though. So I can't gain on Dan Tom. I'm 4 picks behind. Huh. Let's talk to... oh, he's gone. Well, sorry, Ben. We were going to bring you on right now. Ask you how you been. The Junkie Gathering. Let's talk about that a little bit. Have the 2 weeks gone by? I know at least one's gone by. I just want to make sure that we're not.
Today will probably the next couple of days may be officially the 2 weeks.
As of Friday, February 9th, I haven't heard anybody say that they've bought tickets or they're just zero locked in. You know, other than oh man, I might not be able to go. And again, that it sucks to read something like that, but. The only reason we put out a date sooner is because you guys are always constantly, you want to hear it, you want to hear it, you want to hear it. And for that, I actually say, well, you wanted to hear it, but yet no one's booked their flights or done anything about it. So this whole time, you're really just pushing for, right? Maybe it's the days off from work, right? That's another big thing.
People are waiting on you to put that thing out.
What thing?
The fee.
Oh, the fee. Okay. All right. Well, we can talk about that too. But I can tell you this much, whatever the fee is, and it'll either be 100 or 200, and I frankly believe that if it's 200 this year, it'll be 100 for you the next year, and then that'll be that. It'll only just be anybody that comes for the first time. I think that's pretty fair. But let me tell you something, we will fight to make up that $200. It's not just going to go nowhere. So don't let it deter you from coming, because it'll be as great as the best Junkie Gathering ever, or we'll try our hardest to make it better. But I'm telling you, it will allow us to have the resources to really go out there and just not be asking for favors. And look, man, look, we're dealing with business people here, all right? The fighters, the managers, everybody else, they have stuff going on. You know, the sport just keeps growing and growing and growing and growing. And it's not easy, you know, and I also don't think it's fair. You know, I mean, it's just different times now. A lot of favors. A lot of favors have been cashed, and I But I just think it could be taken to another level, you know. But it's not just, oh, the money's there and thank you and we'll see you in May or September or July. It's nothing like that. We'll go out there and work to really, really meet the right people and take enough meetings, whatever it has to be done, because we only have a certain amount of time, and that's it. And go out there and work for you all as well, so you can get hopefully every single one of those pennies of the 200 or close to it. So don't let that deter you. I know a lot of you in the past have done a collection to tip anyway, so you're already putting in 20 or 50. Some have even done 100. I don't know. So you're already doing that anyway. Yeah. But I mean, I guess we'll wait till maybe middle of next week, and if I don't hear anything, I think we should move it in conjunction with that pay-per-view in October. It still gives us the fall feel. It gives us a legitimate show that will be in town, which means a lot of notables are in town, a lot of fighters are in town that are fighting, a lot of fighters that accompany fighters, a lot of coaches that accompany fighters. It just will provide a better atmosphere, you know, for everybody. And I believe that after what's happening here with UFC 222, how's the UFC not going to come strong in July? How's the UFC not going to come strong in October for Vegas? Because Vegas is clamoring for a big show or a set of big shows. And I think they'll try the hardest to make that happen. A lot of the fighters love to fight in Las Vegas as well. Maybe that's the time Conor comes back. If they already have Stipe and DC, they really don't need to put Conor on that one, right? If Conor ever comes back, I think October's probably...
Save money and get 2 big pay-per-views out of that.
Yeah. So, anyway, let's talk to Ben in New Zealand. What's up, Ben? How you been?
Yeah, I've been sweet, Gigi. That was a cool interview with Funky Ben Askren. He's currently at number 3 on the interview rankings. We've got number 5, Misha Cupcake Tate. Daniel DC Cormier is at number 4. Number 2 is Raging Ally Quinta, and number 1, of course, is Gamebred Jorge Masvidal.
Wow, so you like the Askren interview that much, huh?
I've always loved listening to that dude talk. I mean, all those people I just named, whenever they come on the show, I know I'm in for a good time.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I thought we covered everything, right, guys?
Yeah, totally. And I thought it was good that he recapped what he said on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Right.
Hey, Ben, what time is it for you over there again?
It's like Sunday. The fights are going to start.
It's 8:38 a.m. at the moment, so it's pretty civilized.
So you get up and you listen to the show every day like that with no problem? Or do you have like select shows where you?
If I'm not working, I can. You guys start at 7 o'clock, in our summertime and your winter time, because of the way the daylight savings works. You guys start at 7 for me, but in our winter you start at 5 a.m. So depends if I'm working as well. Because if I'm working, I leave the house about 6:15, so I don't get to listen live.
You're too busy slaying anacondas and shit in your jangles.
That was in Brazil, man. We don't have any of that stuff in New Zealand. We're nice and safe and sound in New Zealand. The worst thing we have here is those jellyfish, and then there's like a caterpillar.
Oh, the jellyfish makes their way to New Zealand as well?
Yeah, the ones we have aren't quite as bad, but they're the same family.
What is like a messed up spider over there?
We have something called a caterpillar, which is like the black widow. It's our version of the black widow.
What is it about that island? Australia is a continent, a country, but it's also an island. What is it around that part of the world? Is it warm waters, cold waters? What is it? Is it the Great Barrier Reef that attracts so many of these predators?
I think warm water is a big thing, right? With sharks, I know it is.
Okay.
So that's probably a plus for that.
I've never felt like at any point in time when we went to Newport Beach or Corona Del Mar or Huntington Beach in Southern California that I needed to be careful of what I stepped on, or if I went too far, what might eat me or sting me or whatever, until now as an adult, and now with the beauty of the internet and all these documentaries, you just find out all the stuff that's out there. Now, granted, Australians may be laughing their asses off.
Though either, right?
Yeah, they may be laughing their asses off going, dude, it happens once every 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Stop being a puss.
Like earthquakes.
Could be, us. Yeah. But, holy cow, like, how did that, what? Tell me about, what is it, natural selection?
Like or other predators eating other predators?
Well, no, like I just don't understand. How did a jellyfish get created? He's just floating around out there, right? but yet he's got a neurotoxin so bad that if he stings you, you die in 30. Why did that need to happen?
If you're asking me personally, I think that's God's way of saying stay out the ocean.
Did a snake that has venom mate with a rag, and that created the jellyfish?
I don't know.
And so he got some of the traits of the snake, which is the venom, and he flops around like a rag. I don't get how we got to a jellyfish.
I mean, like, if you read evolution books, there's certain, like, don't they say, you might know this, Ben, that, like, alligators or crocodiles came originally from
dinosaurs?
From fish or something like that.
Oh,
like
from fish?
There's some certain breed where they show, like, a different version of it that was a water one, and then somehow he grew legs. And
do you guys remember that little YouTube? Did you happen to hang on to the link, or did you, Danny? Maybe we can play the last 6.
Give me a second.
See if you can look for it, all right? But anyway, in one of those, remember they go, some guy in Brazil mated some bees, and it's called the African bee. Well, if I'm not mistaken, in Florida, there's what's called, let me see, I think it's called a rock python. It's supposed to be a mean snake that mated with a python, and I think humans created that, and now we have a long mean snake. Whereas before it was just a mean snake, and now there's a long mean snake. And Florida was having problems with them
once a year, right? Because they're starting to kill all the other animals, which ruins the ecosystem.
Yeah, so I don't know if it was a mamba with a cobra and they made it or what, but now it's just a snake. Because the anaconda, I don't believe, is as ferocious as some of these other ones, save for the one that Ice Cube and John Voight and J-Lo had to deal with. But other than that, I don't believe they're as menacing and dangerous as the other ones. But now you have to worry about, a long snake that can do all these different things to you. We digress, though, Ben. Who do you like this weekend?
I'll just say this green anaconda that came into my building site in the jungle there in Brazil those are the biggest. They grow to be the biggest in the world. The one that I saw wasn't fully grown, but they grow to be the biggest. And the other thing is Australia has far more of these deadly animals than New Zealand. We get off way light down here compared to what they have.
Yeah. No doubt, man. How long does the anaconda grow to? 30 feet or more? No, 30 meters, right?
I think 30 feet, like 10 meters, something like that. 30 feet. The green
meters?
anaconda is the biggest.
So the size of a first down. Shit, the one on with J-Lo and Ice Cube and John, that one looked longer.
It looked thicker.
He was all over the boat and everything. It's actually a corny movie. If you have nothing to do tonight and you're just Netflixing it, just get Anaconda with J-Lo and Ice Cube. It's actually pretty cool. It has its moments.
The Swiss Family Robinson, do you remember that?
No.
Wasn't there one in there? You don't remember you're the one that made it?
I found it.
I thought you meant the tree at Disneyland.
Oh, but you don't remember the movie?
No.
Oh, man, yeah, that guy has to fight one off, too. That's
Does he?
Big, yeah.
Damn. All right. Ben, you didn't tell us who you liked.
Well, I'm gonna be rooting for Rocco just because it'll be a fresh matchup if he goes up against Rob. Rob's the champion. He's already fought Yoel. So I want Luke to win. I think Luke just has to survive. He seems to start slow. He's a bit of a cowboy in that way that he seems to start slow and seems to be vulnerable early on. But I really the main thing that I want to see is I want to see Luke take Yoel down, and then I want to see if Luke can hold Yoel down because no one else. Yoel gets taken down surprisingly often for a guy who's this killer wrestler, but he just doesn't stay down for more than a second. He pops right back up. So whereas Luke has this killer top game, so I'm hoping it goes to the ground at some point.
He'd
just
have
so
to
I
take
can
his
see
back. Yeah, be in a dominant position or take his back. Otherwise, if they're just wrestling, if they're just having some sort of a sequence on the ground, Yoel will pop up. Yoel also kind of doesn't start fast either. But yeah, Luke, I don't know what it is. He forgets they're wearing 4-ounce gloves, or maybe he just feels like his head movement is so great he's not going to get clipped, and he sure enough does get clipped. But if you can get past that, all of a sudden he starts hitting his stride about the middle of the second round, and then he's a monster.
Hey, Ben, do you watch American shows?
American TV shows? Yeah, I watched quite a few of them, yeah.
Have you caught Big Brother yet with Chuck Liddell? Have you guys seen any of that yet?
No, I've just been hearing about it.
Oh, no.
Is it worth it?
I haven't. I've seen some of the clips of them, but I haven't. I don't watch that sort of show.
I've seen some clips, and you're definitely not tuning in for Chuck. But he must be losing his mind.
Really?
I would imagine with people just even if you were with your friends for that long in one house, I think you would eventually want to kill some of them.
Mm-hmm.
But these are all celebrities. You know how celebrities are. I don't know. I was just curious if you guys.
Who are the other celebrities that are in there?
Some of that stuff. I don't really know most of their names.
No big names?
No. Like I think Omarosa was one of them, right? Do you remember her?
Is that the lady that worked with Trump?
I think she did, yeah, for a little bit.
Oh, wow.
I can't remember what show she originally did. She did like a Survivor or something like. I don't know. One of those shows.
Black lady?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'll check it out. Ben, thanks very much for the call. Always great to hear from you, mate.
All right, chaps. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the fights, and I'll catch you again soon.
Okay, we'll see you.
Gotta meet this guy sometime.
Yeah, I took a lot of heat for telling him to put the his chip on the credit card. Oh, all the financial experts came out.
I mean,
so,
dude, I get it.
Everyone takes me so literal, but because of that, I should have told Ben, don't forget to get 8 hours of sleep and have the 4 food groups represented in your lunch and dinner tonight, and tell everybody you love them before you go to bed, and eat your fucking Flintstones, whatever.
I mean, I get it. It's probably bad advice, but if you can handle it, you can do it. It just comes down to you.
I've gotten in debt because of that before, but I also have great memories because of it. I also got in debt because of the show, but it's also paid off with a career. So, yeah, there is some gamble. Sometimes you want to do it and you can do it. And you know what? You can pay it off. I mean, like, I pay off my credit card every month. Well, not every, but I think 10 of the 12 months I pay it off. So, he's probably on a budget. I don't know, shit, I may get a room and tell Ben, crash with me.
I mean, I would imagine Ben doesn't go, okay, George said it, I'll do it. He probably sits down and goes, could I do it? And he looks at finances, and then from there, I mean, everybody makes their own decisions.
Let's take a break. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. We are going to close up shop soon. Then when we come back, we'll finish up with some iTunes reviews. Goes, you'll have to help me out. You and Danny have the better memory. We'll see where we left off. We'll see how many we can read before we get out of here.
I heard you crying loud all the way across town.
You know that scene in Star Wars where Darth Vader tells Luke he's his father? What if I walked in right after with my voice and was like, I'm your Uncle Walter. Can I get a lift home? That'd be crazy, right? Anyway, here are George and Goes.
Start your day with SiriusXM. Enable the SiriusXM skill on your Amazon device. Then tell Alexa to set an alarm for your favorite channel. And you'll wake up to the sounds of SiriusXM. With SiriusXM and Alexa, you can get the latest sports news each morning without picking up your phone or turning on the TV. Talking about snakes, I just happened to go on Twitter, and Joey Odessa, noted odds maker Joey Odessa, says, 2 hours ago, big-ass snake outside my side door. Went to grab my camera like any moron in 2018 would. And the thing took off, like super fast. Creeps me out thinking one of those things may find their way inside my house. I put on socks and shoes. The sock's not stopping anything.
You know
and
what? But it feels like it does.
If it's a boot, maybe the boot will...
better be steel-toed.
Yeah. There might be certain parts of the boot that might help, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I think those fangs will pretty much penetrate any sock.
But it feels like it takes away some of the pain. Like the same way if you were to get shot with a paint pellet gun, obviously it would just feel like it hurt more if you
didn't have a shirt on.
You didn't have a shirt. Even if you had like the thinnest shirt on, it just feels like it would take away something.
I always felt like...
I hear the reasoning, but yeah, you're right.
Remember the old guys in the UFC that would kick with shoes on, wrestling shoes? Mm-hmm. I always felt like that would definitely absorb some of the blow than just being barefoot, but that didn't seem to stop anybody.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that's hopefully... He says a big-ass snake. Hopefully Joey's all right. Let's do some iTunes reviews to close up here. And also, I want to thank all of our guests for the week, including Frank Trigg, who co-hosted Monday's show, Rashad Evans, former UFC light heavyweight champ, Josh Emmett, headlining an upcoming Big Fox card, Roy Nelson, headlining an upcoming Bellator card, Valentina Shevchenko, coming off a huge win that might net her a shot at the flyweight title in the UFC. Dominic Steele is going to be flying to Russia soon. He was entertaining. Ben Saunders and Alan Jouban, they fight each other on that Big Fox card headlined by Josh Emmett. Matt Mitrione, Nelson's opponent on the Bellator card. Kyle Stewart, who has a LFA card, he'll be headlining. Taiwan Claxton, also fighting at Bellator. Only 1-0, but man, did he make a splash. And Funky Ben Askren. Thank you to everybody that helped out with that. Orem Hodek lined up Kyle Stewart. Matt Mitrione and the other Bellator people came courtesy of Goes and the Bellator crew. Roger Allen with Shevchenko and Jason Ellis with Dominique Steele. And there you have it. Let's do some iTunes reviews and then we'll get on out of here. Now, I always have trouble remembering where I left off. We're going to just try and finish them all. So we're going back a little bit, but here we go. Robert William Abrevia says, these are iTunes reviews. You can rate us 1 to 5 stars. We always appreciate the 5 stars. Where you only get 1, 2, 3, 4, tell us what we're doing wrong. We'll definitely try and improve. George and Goes are the best in the game at hosting. Being shows the best daily MMA show on the planet. If you're a hardcore MMA fan and aren't listening to Junkie, you're slipping like Scottie Pippen. I think we did read that. Sounds pretty funny, yeah. Also, I'm reading the North American reviews, and if you really want your review read, write us an email, ournames@thewebsite.com, and let us know where you're at, and I'll see if I can go through the iTunes that is in conjunction with your country, and maybe we can find it in there. Let us know too what your iTunes username is, because I know that our iTunes count has moved up, but yet I can only read the ones that were left, I think, through North America. And we'll go back as far as you want to do this. If you've been waiting for 8 years to hear it, then we'll really go back and dig, or at least I will. All right, AK Joe 427 fanboys first. If you're a fan of MMA, this podcast should be at the top of your list. I love that they are fans first, and when they're speaking to fighters, people in MMA, they're not just trying to start crap and get scoop, cough, MMA hour, cough. If you want, that's him coughing, by the way. If you want to keep up with the sport and really get to know people in MMA, this show's for you. Thanks for your dedication, George and Goes. Thank you, sir.
That's nice.
AKA Joe and Robert William.
Thank you.
Get your Olayan. Get your Olayan. Oh, wow. I'm trying to make sense of this, but he says MMA Junkie Addict, 5 stars, March 14th, 2017. Can't get enough of MMA Junkie. Great content and guests. Have listened to almost 2 years and call myself a junkie. Still haven't gotten the cojones to call in. Shout out to all the loyal callers that make the show that much better. In conclusion, after 2 years, I finally understand Marco from Waco. That sounds familiar. Okay, maybe we're repeating a couple. We'll just keep going. We are going to do a little bit of overtime. Try and wipe all these out. In May of 2017, Orda Nation Sports. I think that's Jordan from Denver. Junkulation for life. MMA Junkie Radio's best show in existence, period. GG goes, and the rest of Junkie Nation make you feel like a part of the show from day one. Download, call in, and don't just be a fan. Be a junkie. Perfectly written. Mark from Fort Worth, Texas. March 23rd, 2017. Been a 5-year listener and really enjoy the show. One more here. The Hayes 86, great content, 5 stars. March of 2017, great MMA podcast and everything MMA. They cover all things MMA, not just UFC. Awesome guests with great conversation. Perfect for listening while at work or driving. All right, folks, we're going to continue on with some overtime here. Sirius XM audience, you'll get more combat sports and entertainment headed your way. And we'll be back in about 10 seconds, so we'll see you then.
I'm gonna keep on the run, I'm gonna have me some fun. It cost me my very last dime. If I wind up broke, well, I'll always remember that I had a swing in time. I'm gonna give it everything I've got.
You guys clear for overtime?
Okay, Mark from Fort Worth was the last one?
Fart, yeah.
The Hayes 86. Didn't I just say that? Or was that in the commercial? Great content, 5 stars. The Hayes 86, great MMA podcast on everything MMA. They cover all things MMA, not just UFC. Awesome guests, and great conversation. Perfect for listening while at work or driving. Thank you, The Hayes. Thank you, Mark. From Fort Worth. Ubermise, he says, March of 2017. Still great, 5 stars. I used to listen to the show a long time ago, and they recently rediscovered it as my interest in MMA returned. To my delight, it's still the same. Keep up the good work. That one sounds familiar, too. All right, update. Still the best MMA radio show today. 5 stars. Rudy from Chicago on May 3rd, 2017. I've been unlooping cards and doing whatever I need to do to get my MMA fix for over 10 years. Goes and George have created a great show out of nothing through their hard work and perseverance. And callers like Hal and Kendra are always adding to the fun. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you, Rudy. The next one's from Des Rue, May 3rd, 2017. Junkie Nation, 5 stars. This is the most fan-friendly MMA show on the planet. Those George and Goes have so much knowledge on the sport. They have so many connections in the game, and I've talked to so many people. You feel like you're part of the family as soon as you start listening. I've been listening to these guys for 5 years now, and they're awesome, and they're genuine people. Love the show. Des Rue.
Like
Thank
Olive
you.
Garden.
Thank you for the kind words, too. This one comes from DJ Blevy. Sound quality, 3 stars. May 11th, 2017. What the fuck's wrong with it? I listened to it in the car the other day on Sirius XM radio, and I thought we sounded good.
That's the same archive that comes over. But, you know, sometimes depending on who's on the show that day, sometimes it takes a while to get the right levels, right?
Perhaps. Why is the sound so low compared to other podcasts? I have to crank my radio show, and then someone like Marco calls in and screams, which makes me cringe. You know, I may have an answer for that. For one, podcasts work differently. We're a national radio show on Sirius XM. We do a stream for the people to watch and see what we're up to, especially because we have a huge presence with in-studio guests. That's just, I guess we consider it a courtesy. I don't know. We love doing it. It's no problem. It integrates the chat room. But we're a national radio show, and I know when I listen to it in the car, it sounds great. Now, by the time it's cut up and sliced and whatever, uploaded, I don't know what could possibly happen to the audio, but that's Danny Okers working in a proper Sirius XM studio who, uploads that same show to the Sirius XM app, and then hours later gives it to us for us to give to the audience that may not be able to get to Sirius XM. So I don't know, man. So please reconsider. Maybe give us those 2 stars back. This next one's from Classic, 5 stars, May 29th, 2017. Consistent, honest, interesting coverage of MMA. These guys wrote the book. The next one's by V. Raymo, consistently top-notch, 5 stars. Victor Marino, writing from Chico, California. I have resorted to primarily listening to all the latest news on podcasts. I don't have the means to afford every pay-per-view and cable TV. But if I want to know what's going on, I tune into MMA Junkie. They are consistent with the content and don't let you down. Don't have to read. I wanted to talk about Nate Diaz and McGregor fight. In my small town, most do not talk about MMA. I sought out several MMA podcasts MMA Junkie delivered. Day-to-day news about all promotions and fighters. Listening to them and the callers is like being in a barbershop. From the day I have religiously subscribed and await the latest podcast of MMA Junkie, it helps me through my day at work while informing me of what is going on in the MMA world. Much respect. Great job, George and Goes. And Danny. Danny got some love. Goes. Here's a new version of your name.
Oh my God, I've never seen that.
Yeah.
What's the spelling?
G-O
apostrophe
S.
Yeah.
I like
Victor
it.
Marino,
Let's
we're
do
not
that
clowning. You know, if I heard Goes the first time, I would spell it G-O-E-S. There he goes. But it's actually G-O-Z-E. But a lot of people have called him Gomez, Godinez, Goose, Ghost over the years. We had never heard it this way, though. Good job. You know, when I saw that, it was like 5 lines. I'm like, fuck. I don't have reading glasses. How am I going to get through this? But he covered so many things, and I really love the barbershop angle. Thank you. Anyway, Desi C, July 2017, Best MMA Show, 5 stars. MMA Junkie Radio is the place to be for your MMA, combat sports, or sports in general fix. These guys are amazing dudes. Been listening since 2013 and had the pleasure of meeting them in 2015. Great guys. I have nothing but the utmost respect for what they do for us junkies. The next one's from JD from the IE, July 21st, 2017. The Superior MMA Radio Show, 5 stars. I've been listening for around 8 years, so it may come as no surprise that, in my opinion, George and Goes run a show that is far superior to any other in MMA. I'm always so stoked to listen every day. They bring a list of MMA fighters, notables, personalities to the show that can't be matched. If there was an option for 10 stars, that would be my rating. Good day, sir.
Good day to you.
The wagon's out.
The wagon.
Was that one of those zombie show references or something like that?
When we used to all get together and play video games, our crew was called the Wagons.
Now, why were you guys called the Wagons?
It was based off of a character from the 10-Minute Podcast his rap crew was the Wagons.
How come you didn't just call you guys Goes and Friends?
Wait,
you seem like a leader, like the type of guy that would take charge
Goes
like
and
that.
Friends. Then I would have to be the front of the logo.
And then everyone in the back of you, like Super Friends?
But they all kind of go backwards a little bit.
Yeah. Brinks, should I keep going? I mean, this is a lot of people saying nice things about us, and it kind of gets weird after a while. I mean, we love hearing stuff about the show. All right. Brinkstar 53, July 22nd, 2017. Amazing show, 5 stars, an amazing MMA podcast. George and Goes are great at what they do, and some of the best interviewers in the business. I enjoy all the calls from the junkies and hope to get to a gathering someday. Been listening for 5 years now, and will enjoy them for years to come.
We would love
Congrats on the milestones, guys. The next one's from Rick D, 1982. July 24th, 2017 is when he put this up. Go to for all things MMA, 5 stars. Gigi and Goes are 2 great hosts for the only show that kept me on SiriusXM. The show keeps me level through my work week. It's like having 2 good friends talking MMA with you while you work or drive. I recommend this show to all my friends and family every chance I get. Keep up the great shows, rolling boys. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for telling your friends and family. I've said this before, but I have a cousin in Lima, Peru, who I hadn't seen for years. I saw him once at the Tyson Buster Douglas fight. He was there. You know that when we crossed the street to go to Jim Faharen's house?
Oh, okay. I thought you were trying to say you were in Tokyo. I didn't want to sell you out, but I was like,
no. So that was like 1988, right?
He was there?
He was there. Ugo was there. And I didn't see him until 2009? When did I go to Peru? No, 2006. Everything all right? At least 28 years. Yeah, because he was a kid, and now he's a fucking doctor. And when I saw him, I just asked him about, hey, what soccer team is yours? you know, figuring that's where we'd warm things up a little bit. And he goes, man, you know, I like soccer, but you know what I really love? He goes, and I know you're not going to dig it. He goes, MMA, man, UFC, I love that shit. And Vanderlei was his favorite fighter, and I couldn't believe it. And I was like, what? I love MMA too. And we, you know, connected. And so that's, again, just a family member who I never would have thought liked MMA. But by you doing that, you might be driving our show towards somebody that digs the show that you may not have even known was a hardcore listener. So thank you, Rick, for doing that. Let's save some for, we got about 5 more to go. We'll save it for another time and get on out of here. Hope you all enjoy your weekend. It was fun doing the show today, as always. And we'll be back on Monday. Dan Tom will be back. And, you know, we'll recap UFC 221 and everything else that's going on in our crazy sport. So, for Danny and Goes, I'm George. Have a nice weekend. Go out there and be champions.
Bright light city, gonna set my soul on fire. Got a whole lot of money that's ready to burn, so get those stakes up higher. There's 1,000 pretty women.
Guys are clear.
Hey, Danny.
Hi.
Give me 1 second.